San Diego is often described as a desert. Dry, sunny, water scarce, but that's only part of the story, because when it rains here, even just an inch, an incredible amount of water flows all around us. Water flows off rooftops, into gutters, through downspouts, and often onto impermeable surfaces, and then into our storm drain system, an untreated system that carries water from mesas and canyons out to the ocean. This water is not reused, it's not reabsorbed, it's just rushed away. The way our cities have been built, water is treated as something to get rid of as fast as possible. Natural canyons have been replaced with concrete storm drain channels just like this to put water into the ocean instead of letting it absorb into our soil and into our earth. What if our landscapes weren't just decorative, they were part of the solution? Rainwater harvesting is not just about collecting water, it's about changing how we think about water. Instead of rushing water away, we can slow it down, capture it, and use it right where it falls. Our yards aren't broken, they're just outdated. By redesigning landscapes to work with water instead of against it, we turn everyday spaces like schools, offices, and apartment complexes into places that support both the ecosystem and people. When water is slowed down and absorbed into the landscape, the benefits add up quickly. Runoff is reduced, as well as the oil and pollutants that would otherwise wash into creeks in the ocean. As water moves through soil and plant roots, many pollutants are naturally filtered and broken down, instead of being carried directly into storm drains. Plants become healthier with deeper roots and more consistent moisture. Plants actually prefer rainwater because it's naturally soft, free of added salts and chemicals, and rich in dissolved oxygen and nutrients that support growth. Homes and communities become more resilient, protected from erosion and flooding during heavy rain. And over time, by using rainwater where it falls can mean using less imported water, saving money month after month. Rainwater harvesting systems generally fall into two categories: active systems and passive systems. Active rainwater harvesting systems capture water in containers to be used at a later time, whereas passive systems store water in the landscape, in the soil. Active systems can capture a good amount of water, but passive systems can capture a lot more. And actually, the systems work best together. Everything starts at the roof. When water hits your roof, gutters and downspouts guide it in a controlled way, instead of letting it spill off your roof onto your yard and around your home. Gutters and downspouts help prevent damage and erosion, and they also create a clear starting point for capturing rainwater from your home. But active systems have their limits. Their capacity depends on your roof size, rainfall intensity, and maintenance of your containers. Cisterns, rain barrels, and other rain tanks are your best bet for storing rainwater for future use. From the downspout, water is directed into containers. Rain barrels like these and other cisterns and tanks store water for future use, especially during dry periods. They're great tools, they're visible, and they make rainwater harvesting tangible. But they have their limits. And it's important to have your overflow system designed to feed water into the landscape and store it in the soil. Soil can hold far more water than containers ever could, and that's where passive systems come in. During heavy rain events, containers will overflow, but that water doesn't have to be wasted. By overflowing into rain basins, shallow, mulched, planted areas, that water can be uptaken by native or drought-tolerant plants and used to keep our areas green well into periods of drought. Rain gardens work passively, no pumps, no moving parts. They clean the water naturally, they support plant life, and they reduce runoff. Other passive systems like basins, swales, and infiltration trenches shape the land around us to absorb more water. Rather than storing water in rain tanks, passive systems slow and spread water across an area of land, sinking it into the soil and recharging the landscape. Here's an example. 1 inch of rain on a 1,000 square foot roof is about 600 gallons, roughly 11 rain barrels. Most homes can only store a fraction of that in containers, but a 1,000 square foot rain garden can temporarily hold and soak in several thousand gallons, often the equivalent of well over 100 barrels, because the soil becomes the storage. When we design with gravity, soil, and plants in mind, we make the greatest possible use that we can out of our captured rainwater. Making these changes sounds complicated, but it doesn't have to be. Rebate programs exist all across Southern California to help offset costs and make it easier to install both passive and active rainwater harvesting systems. Rebates can cover a variety of improvements, from rain barrel and gutter installations to irrigation upgrades and turf grass replacements. For instance, here in San Diego, residents may be eligible for rebates on rain barrels and cisterns, landscape upgrades that capture and infiltrate stormwater, irrigation efficiency improvements, and the replacement of water-intensive turf with climate-appropriate landscaping. Some programs are offered through the city, others through the county, and many can be combined depending on where you live. In many cases, these approaches also align with modern building codes, making homes more efficient and resilient over time. Links to local programs and eligibility information are included below to make it easy to find what is available in your area. Whether through active systems, passive design, or both, every landscape has the potential to capture and conserve rainwater, because the water we need is already falling on us. It's landing on our roofs, flowing through our yards, and moving through our neighborhoods every time it rains. With the right tools, incentives, and design choices, we can turn those moments into opportunities instead of losses. The question is, what are we going to do with our rain? Are we going to continue to rush it away? Or are we going to capture it and use it wisely to help improve our communities and our local ecosystems? Will we design our communities to work with water or against it? That choice starts now, and it starts with you and at your home.